All right, folks, today we're talking about a group that many underground West Coast rap fans remember, but they never quite got the mainstream recognition that they deserved. We're talking about the 909 Boys, a Riverside rap group that represented the Inland Empire to the fullest during the height of the G-Funk era. They were signed to Poker Production ENT, one of the most respected independent labels in the Inland Empire underground rap scene. We're going to talk about who the 909 Boys were, how they got started, their connection to Poker Production, their music, their albums, why they're still respected today, and what happened after their peak years. To understand the 909 Boys, you have to understand Southern California during the 90s. When people talk about California rap, most conversations focus on LA, Compton, Long Beach, Oakland. But there was another region that was building its own sound, the Inland Empire. I remember hearing about the Inland Empire in the 90s. 80s and 90s, LA was really rough, so people started leaving Los Angeles, and one of the main places they were going to was the Inland Empire. Cities like Riverside, San Bernardino, Moreno Valley started getting an influx of people from the LA area, or people that were already living there. And they were producing talented rappers who were heavily influenced by the G-Funk movement, but they had their own local identity. And out of Riverside came the 909 Boys. The group's core lineup consisted of Freeze, C.O. Loke, O-Dog, and YG Serious. I had a chance to interview S.C.O. Loke, and I'll be playing some clips in a few minutes of S.C.O. Loke from 909 Boys, breaking down his career, his city, and a bunch of other stuff. So if you're a hardcore underground West Coast hip-hop nerd like I am, you don't want to go anywhere. But they were part of Poker Productions, and Poker Productions was one of the biggest reasons they gained attention in underground circles. If you're a real underground West Coast fan / nerd of this culture like I am, you probably know that Poker Productions released several respected independent projects during the 90s and early 2000s. The label specialized in authentic street-orientated rap mixed with obvious G-Funk, because that was the sound of the 90s. They never had the marketing power of major labels like Death Row or Priority Records, but among collectors and underground rap fans, the label earned a strong reputation. And the 909 Boys became one of the label's notable groups that helped put Riverside on the map. First release was in 1997. The 909 Boys released a self-titled project called 909 Boys. It came when G-Funk was incredibly popular throughout California. At its peak, some would say. No, I think it might have had its peak a couple years prior. G-Funk's peak was probably, 94? But this tape featured tracks like This Is How We Kick It and Far East IE. And up until that point, many people didn't even know what the IE was. But me, I used to go to the swap meet all of the time, and I would specifically look for tapes that no one else knew about. I wanted the singles that no one else knew about. And that's how I came across a bunch of artists, and artists like the 909 Boys who were kind of local. I mean, they had to drive out to the city of Compton and ask the guy to put their tape in his store. They would have to drive to the city of Norwalk and ask the guy at the Norwalk swap meet to put their tape in the car or to put their tape in their store. But I used to enjoy that. I used to really, really enjoy that. Just going and finding gems. That's how I came across so much music back in the day. It's crazy how much music I came across back in the day just by going to the swap meet every single Tuesday. They released an album called Royal Flush, and for many fans, this is considered the definitive 909 Boys album. The project featured songs like Mic Check, We Getting At Ya, Royal Flush, Bring the Noise, Do Dirt, and several others. The album combined street stories, G-Funk influenced production, local Inland Empire culture that you would only knew if you lived there or knew somebody who lived there. They had a strong group chemistry if you listen to their album, especially this Royal Flush album. Each of the members brought a different style, which helped keep the album interesting. While the album didn't become a national hit, it did gain a loyal following amongst West Coast rap fans. One thing that separated 909 Boys from many groups of that era was their regional identity. The 909, not the 213, not the 310, not the 714, the 909. And these guys proudly represented Riverside. That might not sound like a big deal today, but back then, many Inland Empire artists felt overshadowed by the massive rap scenes in Los Angeles, in Long Beach, in Compton. No one was driving an hour and a half to do a show in Moreno Valley back then, so they had to create their own thing. And rap fans in that general area, when they're hearing references in the songs like, oh, shit, that's a street right down, that's a street 3 blocks from me. They started putting the references together. They knew these guys were authentic, and it really helped build credibility for these guys. One reason the 909 Boys are still remembered today is because of underground rap collectors and YouTube. If you search rare West Coast G-Funk, they're definitely going to pop up. If you've ever spent time in online rap forums back in the day, collectors groups or YouTube channels that are dedicated to rare West Coast rap, you will definitely see them and others. Many independent rap CDs from the 90s were pressed in small quantities. That means some of these releases became rare over time. You remember how we used to treat CDs? We didn't think, oh, and I wish I would have a cool CD in 2029, that I bought back in 1997. But that ain't the case, because if you were like me, I should throw my CDs in the back seat. I put them in and they get all scratched. Man, I was the worst CD. CDs were the worst thing for somebody like me. All my CDs ended up looking like Cookie Monster was chomping on them. But the 909 Boys' primary recording activity took place between late 90s, mid-2000s. And while they never reached mainstream commercial success, members continued to stay active in music. And one notable example is SCO Loc, who later released a solo album called The Park in 2010. And once again, I'm going to have SCO Loc soon as I am finished discussing this group. I'm going to play some clips from my interview with SCO Loc, member of the 909 Boys. He also participated in other projects, helping keep the Poker Productions legacy alive. And like many underground artists from that area, the members, they just largely remained respected regional figures rather than becoming national celebrities. Today, the 909 Boys, they represent something important in West Coast hip-hop history. They remind us that not every influential rap group came from a major label. Not every respected artist sold millions of records. Sometimes the most authentic stories come from independent artists representing their neighborhoods and their cities. And the 909 Boys helped document a specific place and time in California history. When fans listen to their music today, they're hearing a snapshot of Riverside and the Inland Empire during the late 1990s G-Funk era. That's why collectors still search for their albums. That's why old school West Coast fans still talk about them. And that's why their music continues to have value decades later. Now enjoy these clips from my interview with SCO Loke, member of the 909 Boys. Ladies and gentlemen, from Banning, California, I have CO Loke. Explain to everybody where Banning is, first of all.
It's in the IE area on the way to Palm Springs. Just before you get into Palm Springs, you come into Banning, and then you pass a city called Capizon. You see the big tower on Morongo Casino. You know, and I've been out here in Banning since '79.
And you were at Eastside Park Gang Crip, right?
Yeah, I'm from PGC. That was the gang that took off, really. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was out here doing their thing. Hillside and Village was like territorial as far as, you know, what part of Banning that you live, mainly on the east side, though. And then when they built the park, you know what I'm saying, even before the park was built, there was guys, you know, doing their thing. But the park started getting built when I was in kindergarten. And I remember walking through there, throwing dirt rocks, and, you know, just, you know, you start to see different things. And then you start remembering, I used to cut through this field right here. It's no longer a field now. You know what I'm saying? You might have, you know, a whole bunch of houses there that's in the way, or like you said, you know what I'm saying, the park is right there.
When was the first time you personally ever heard anything about Crips and Bloods?
Probably like when the older guys from the town started, you know, they came up with the name Eastside Player Gangster. I think I was in like 4th or 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? I already knew, you know, pretty much the predominant color of choice out here was blue, but it was just Eastside Banning back then. But then the Player Gangster came in like the mid 80s, 85, 86. You know, my homeboy, Big E-Money, you know what I'm saying? Him and the homie Chill, along some other guys, they were trying to come up with a name to, you know, to call the neighborhood where we was from, and Eastside Player Gangsters came about. Park Gang didn't come up until the next generation of individuals started, you know, hanging at the park and gang banging and doing their thing like that. Okay. So E-Money and his younger brothers, Truman, me and Truman the same age, but his younger brother Peanut was really like the knucklehead, you know what I'm saying? Being the baby brother, you could do a lot more because you got your older brothers that's going to, you know, defend you, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, there was probably like 80, like in the early 80s, you know what I'm saying, mid 80s.
Were some of the first sets that started making a pop up in Banning?
Alongside of the Player Gangsters, you know, you had other gangs from, you know, gang members from LA coming through, on both sides, you know, the Crips and the Bloods, depending on where they was coming from. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really start hanging out at the park as much until I got around maybe 12 and 13, walking down to the park or riding bikes down to the park. But it was, there was some Denver Lanes that came out here. A-Trade Gangsters was out here. It was a guy, he was playing basketball with us, and he had a tattoo on his back, and it was WSPGC. And I said, hey, what does that mean? And he said, Westside Player Gangster Crip. And that tripped me out like, wow, you know, this is Eastside Player Gangster Crip, you know. But like I said, this was way before Park Gang came. The Park Gang didn't come to like maybe 90, the next generation, like 91, 92, somewhere around there, 92, 93, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, some Swans that came out, you know, just names popping up, Bounty Hunters, California Gardens, you know what I'm saying? Just a few people coming in and out. Santana Block, Compton, Crip. My boy Kevin, he was coming out here, you know. You know, the drug bang really was popping, you know. Most everybody that was in that life, you know, predominantly were teenagers. between 15 and 19 that had the sack, you know what I'm saying? And they was balling before the word balling really became popular, you know what I'm saying? So just seeing that, you know what I'm saying, like at a young age, and the older brothers weren't that much older than us, but still they was older, so we really didn't click because they was older, and of course, us being the younger guys, we can go certain places.
When was banning at its peak when it comes to violence on the street? Are we talking like maybe like it was in LA, late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a guy that got killed by the park. And my grandfather told, make sure my mom let us know to stay in the house because it wasn't safe to come outside, and just, and then a few years later, a guy by the name of Virgil, he got killed out here, and just seeing people grow up and then getting killed and murdered and overdose, swallowing dope sacks, suicide. It's crazy. And it's like you really had to grow up fast out here.
Is there a big Latino or Hispanic gang presence in that city?
Yeah. The Van and Sapos, that's the big Hispanic gang that's out here. I went to school with some of them. The majority of them, they really, really cool. They take care of their own, you know what I'm saying? It's the city, you know what I'm saying? From Bannon, everybody is related in some way or another, where either they got kids with another race or they even married into, you know what I'm saying? So then you got brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles. So it's all like intertwined. It pretty much Bannon is if you're from Bannon, you're related to somebody some way or another.
Back in the 80s and 90s or even before that, do you remember anything about any white gangs out there?
No, but I'm pretty sure that, the skinheads and everything, it was kind of like a secret society, basically. They really didn't mess with any the young kids, but we knew, you know what I'm saying, just how certain people would act or talk, when we was at school, but not really knowing what was going on. Not until we got, kind of older. Beaumont and Yucaipa, pretty much, we heard it more so over there, not in Bannon.
Gotcha. Okay. Take me back to the time that you decided to join Crip. Take me back to the day. Did you get jumped in? What was going through your mind?
This was like junior high, so we was just, like I said, player gangsters was popping up. So most of the guys that live closer by the block, they would come to school. I stayed up on the hillside by this time, junior high, and then we all just got in a circle. One evening we was on Almond Way in Christie, and it was just like everybody just went at it, But that was like I said, I was 14, so it was nobody was older than 16 that was in that circle. You know what I'm saying? None of the big homies pretty much like put us on. It's like, how you gonna put us on? But we already from here. You know what I'm saying? This is where we grew up. This was our playground. So this is what we became. And that's how it was. Some of the OGs that was out here doing it, you know what I'm saying? They would come through all the time, and, either we walk in or they pick us up, take us to the store, take us, somewhere and just, go in there and steal something just to, not I guess like initiation type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. You're really into lowriders, right? Did I catch that in one of your songs or?
Yeah, I got that convertible 64. That's mine. I had it since 2005. And just that's the most popular car, the 64. Everybody raps about the 64, and I was like, I want to get one. And one day, my homeboy Emil was like, "Hey, why don't you come over here to Max's house with me, where I got to pay him some money on this car that he's building for me." And I was like, "Okay, I'll ride with you." I had no idea, who this man was. And my homeboy Johnny, he was in the low ride. He was in a truck club called Choice Concepts out of Palm Springs back in the early 90s. This was what we was 16, 17 years old, and he
Lowrider magazine. Days.
Choice Concepts.
Damn.
Was mini trucking was the thing. Mm-hmm. Low riding has always been around, but just different generations you had, on the alternative. And then the truckers came, you know what I'm saying, the mini trucks. And now, you know, everybody got they call them rice rockets now, you know what I'm saying? They get a car, they slam it to the ground, put the big loud pipe on them, you know, put the NOS in there. And it just always like to see them lowriders. And then seeing Eazy-E's, them videos, Ice Cube videos, and they end just, you know, Impala's like, wow. And the first time that I actually seen one up close, I was at a car show that Choice Concept threw out in the desert. I don't remember if the car was in any club or anything, but it was a forest green 64, and the inside was like a forest green, so it kind of matched the paint a little bit. And it was just like, wow, it's up close, you know, not knowing how much they cost back then, but I know how much they cost now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. One of the only cars to go up in value.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be in the 60 class. The 59 is the first Impala, you know, and that's the one that, you know, if you got the money to do it, you know, if you want one, go ahead and get that one, you know what I'm saying? But the most popular one is the 64, you know what I'm saying? But the one that looks the best when it's done up, to me is the 63.
Okay, I've heard other people say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it got to be a rag though, you know. Hard tops is cool. Some with the brains blown is cool. But if you're in a rag, you're winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't nothing beat that, you know what I'm saying? Rolling with the top down, you know what I'm saying? Hitting the switch, just clowning, just having fun, man.
Yeah.
And that's basically all we was in it for, you know, to do, you know what I'm saying? Because when you out there in the streets and you gang banging, of course you fighting, you know what I'm saying? The stabs and the killing, the shooting and all that, it comes with it. But, you know, some of us told it, you know, whatever your weapon of choice was, you know what I'm saying? So, and then how you made your money also determined, you know what I'm saying, like what's more important, you know? So me, I didn't like being broke. So I started, you know, doing side hustles on the side and seeing homies, my big homies in and out of juvie. Some went to county, some was going to prison, you know, for selling dope. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go that route. So if I do it, you know what I'm saying, how can I benefit from it, and how can I not be out there and notice that I'm doing it, you know what I'm saying? And all that came with age, you know what I'm saying? Once I got older, you know what I'm saying, then I was like, okay, I can, now I know how to maneuver through it, you know what I'm saying? And just keep people out your business, basically. and you know what I'm saying, and you could be successful no matter what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So one of my big homies that recently got out of prison, you know what I'm saying, we still talk, you know what I'm saying, to the day. But even when I was like 8, 9 years old, you know what I'm saying, I was always going over to their house, you know what I'm saying? And baby Drew, he was like, Ro, you know what I'm saying, you peeped us out and you sifted through everything that we was doing, and you still kept it 100, still solid, and you still out there in the town doing your thing. So he was telling me how proud he was of me, and homie Chill also, and my homeboy Emil. So as far as I'm concerned, you know what I'm saying, like being a man out here, and then everything else is secondary, you know what I'm saying? Fatherhood is the best for me.
Yeah.
I would take that.
Best, man. That's the best feeling in the world, homie.
Oh my gosh, to see the smile on your kid's face when you come home from work, you know what I'm saying, or if you just outside playing with them, and they just, you know, it's man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, man. Rappers are easy food nowadays. You know, rappers are just getting shot left and right and put in jail by the feds, and you know, girls are setting them up. I mean, the change against it's. I think Jim Jones said being a rapper is the hardest occupation in the world. But you know, what are your thoughts on how rappers with gang ties specifically should move around when they're traveling city to city, state to state?
Well, you just got to be true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you move a certain way when you in your city, you got to move that certain way when you go to another city. You know, if you ride by yourself, you know, you got, you know what I'm saying, you got to have your blinker on you, you know what I'm saying, travel, you know what I'm saying, don't fly because you can't take it, you know what I'm saying, so you might as well either get on the Greyhound or drive, you know, but have your comfort zone with you at all times, whatever it is, whether it's a couple of homies from the hood or, like I said, if you by yourself. But you never want to go somewhere by yourself, especially out of state. So you always want to, you know, everybody got family everywhere within the United States. So it's not like you're going to be alone, you know what I'm saying? But even then, you still got to watch your surroundings, you know, and with them rappers getting shot, like I seen that youngster, you know, he was in Hawthorne or whatever, you know.
Indian Red Boy.
I'm pretty sure she set him up, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really know the whole story, but just watching him and hearing what he did, and the other guy that was on the phone with him, you know what I'm saying? That just all out blatant disrespect. But even then, you know what I'm saying, that's still street beef. You know what I'm saying? So what happened to him, that wasn't from the streets. That happened from somebody that knew him and was close and knew where he was to have easy access to get him.
Yeah.
You know, wherever he was at, he was just too comfortable. You know, and in this life, you can't get comfortable. You always have to be on your P's and Q's. You always have to be looking. You always have to be watching, you know?
Yeah. My son isn't a gangster by any means. I'm not a gangster, but I don't just sit in my car and on live and just, you know, I'm in LA, so shit is really cracking right now. And I tell my son, don't just be sitting around in your car on live with people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do that shit at home. Like, right? Because anybody could get it. Is my point. Like right now, anybody can get it, and that was a messed up situation. I just wish I never saw that video, man. It popped up on my timeline that day, as you know, I'm sure it did on yours and millions of other people across the world. Yeah. But I watched it, and I wish I didn't, because to this day, like it's as I'm talking about it, the shit's playing in my head. Watching someone take their last breath.
Yeah. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I could imagine how, you know what I'm saying, like gangsters who have seen death right in front of them, how they feel. Man, I saw that shit on my phone. Someone I don't even know. That shit fuck with me. But I could imagine. Let me ask you that. That leads me into my other question. My other question. Do you think the average gang member who used to gangbang suffers from some sort of PTSD?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the dreams. You know, some even nightmares of guns whistling over your head, or if you doing the shooting. You know what I'm saying? I remember one night in particular, was a house party, and I went, and it was the last time that I seen my homeboy OZ, rest in peace. I went into the house. I said hello to the lady that threw the party, and then her mom, and then I walked outside, and OZ was standing by the garage. They converted into a bedroom, but he was standing right there, and me and him had talked about doing a song called OZs and Ns because of our government names were similar. Okay. Me, him, and another guy. You know what I'm saying? My name is Rosano. His name was Ozanda. The other homie, his name was Ozine. So we was gonna call the song OZs and Ns. You know, ounces and money, basically. You know what I'm saying? But it was all tied together by our names. So he was like, you know, what's up with going to the studio, yada, 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 this and that, you know what I'm saying? I had just got another pager, and, you know, being out in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Me and my thing was, you know, to be that player, you know what I'm saying? So I'm out of town getting at different females or whatever. So my pager go off. I go to San Bernardino. I lead a party. I go to San Bernardino, pick my little broad up, bring her back to my apartment. And we just kicked it at my house. And then the next morning, my mom wakes me up because the neighbor said that she feels sorry and sending her condolences to what happened to her son. And she was like, what do you mean? My son is at home. She was like, no, your son got killed last night. So then she banging on my door. So I wake up, open the door. Mom, what's wrong? She said, the lady downstairs, her name was Sandra. She said that you got killed last night. I was like, nah, it ain't me. I'm opening the door. You know, I'm half asleep. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, let me get on the phone and make a few phone calls, see what happened. And then come to find out, Ozanda got killed. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, our names were similar. Mine is Rosano, his was Ozanda. So they just heard the you know, the syllables and you know what I'm saying, and just had the name mixed up. You know, and then like I said, made a few phone calls to the turf, and then I found out what happened later on. You know, and it was sad how he lost his life. You know, the paramedics could have got there a little sooner. You know what I'm saying? It was and I was just there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the killing that was going on, you know, I was either working or on the road.
Tell everybody where they can find you, man.
I'm on every music platform selling. SEO SEO space LOC. I'm on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube, SEO Facebook, SEO Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I don't really know how to do that, but I got a TikTok page. You know, my daughter, she does that, and she makes and sells lip gloss. Her name is she goes by Glossy Lips on Instagram. You know, she makes her own lip gloss here at the house and something for your eyelashes for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get at her and support her business. You know, she's 15 years old, but she's doing her thing.
That's dope. Yeah, Glossy Lips on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And a big shout out to my boy E-Till. He go by 16 to Life. He on YouTube. The number 16 DALIFE. My boy E, Old Dog. You know what I'm saying? The Young Giants, Penthouse Players, Player Ham, Tweet Cadillac. You know, shout out to my boy Justified, Fathers in Hip Hop.
Oh, that's my homie, man. I'm looking at his Fathers in Hip Hop shirt right now. I'm sitting on my couch.
Is that right? Man, I've been rocking with Justified since the year 2000.
Positive dude right there, man.
Doing shows and everything. Yeah.
Small world once again.
Yeah. So, you know, support your boy. You know what I'm saying? I got a new album coming. It's called Ragtop Music. The first song is called Ragtop Music. It's a song with me and Player Ham on there. Shout out to my producer, Joe Alfaro at the Lil Green Studio. Jada B out there in Highland. You know, keep it IE out here. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for having me on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Man, dog, it was a pleasure, man. I love your vibe, homeboy. Stay safe out there. Keep releasing good music, and I'll definitely stay in touch with you.
All right, for sure.
All right, be cool, man. Peace.
All right, mate.
Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. Big Slim, why are police solving less crime?
It's a lot of distractions going on in this world, and I think that they're humans, so they just basically distracted like a lot of this other people in the world, you know. So it's like, to me, I think that they not really focused on the crime. They might be more so just focused on watching it on the internet. Maybe they might be entertained more than anything now. You know, they might just be like just going along with the world. You know, like it's like people look at the police like, oh, the police going to solve the problem. The police could do it. The police could do that, but really, the police can't do anything but what the government tells them to do. So it's like, it's really, you know, the people, you know, they don't have no accountability. So it's like, I think that at the end of the day, it's like to the point to where it's like people are coming with all these different tactics and they just don't work no more. You know what I'm saying? Or they just like, they figuring it out. Like, okay, we got to change everything up. Like the homie was saying, like, you know, we got to enforce martial law, you know, to bring on the one world government. In my opinion, you know, from what I study, you know.
Mm-hmm. Dog, it's almost like it's a plan that they're putting right in front of our faces. Like we could see it a mile away. I know what's going to happen in 3 years, 4 years. They're going to bring in all the big guns again. We're all talking about it right now. We don't have a crystal ball in our head. We just know that this is the outcome. They ain't going to let this shit go on longer. They are not going to allow 274 homicides in the capital to go on too much longer before they bring in the big dogs, man. Let's talk one more thing, and then I want to move on to some YouTube stuff that I would love your comments on. More than 90% of the homicides last year were by gunfire. No fewer than 106 children and teenagers were hit by bullets. 16 of them were killed. Of the 75 cases in which the police had made an arrest, they said the motive in nearly half of all the shootings and killings was, quote, an argument. I need you guys to talk to these kids out there who are quick to throw their whole life away and take someone's life over an argument, whether it be a girl, whether it be you stepped on my shoes, whether it be you're wearing the wrong color. You know, talk to me, man, from an older G's perspective, fellas. Let's start with Trey.
For my viewers out there, I'm going to be the first one to tell y'all, whatever you think is worth, pray to God, he'll give you something 10 times worth more. And if you got to be tender dick to throw your life away over a fucking female, bro, I'm sorry, man. That's not the way to go out, because you'll spend the rest of your days lying on your back and getting acquainted with your right hand with some fucking lotion. Don't do it. And if it's a petty ass argument or on the same level as the guy stepped on my shoe, or you trying to take my Jordans, or you trying to take my jacket, whatever it is, bro, you know what I'm saying? You can always get it back. You feel me? And some stuff just ain't worth dying over, bro. So if y'all don't have something, you know what I'm saying, to live for, you best find something worth dying for. And that's the best way I can describe it, man. God be with y'all. Peace be with you. And always remember, you know, it's one thing with each one teach one, but a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from others.
That's right, man. Phantom Loke, talk to me, dog.
If it's that serious, you know what I'm saying, I'd say, depending on the situation, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, certain situations, like, you know what I'm saying, like Cuz said, it ain't worth it. But certain situations that are worth it, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to, like, in the lines of disrespect, like when lines been crossed in loyalty, run them hands. Start running from that damn gun. Because, first of all, the gun was made to protect yourself from, like, harm that can cause death. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, an argument, okay, run them hands. You know what I'm saying? Throw them. God gave you two hands for a reason. A lot of reasons. Use them. I say only use the gun or whatever when it's necessary, or like a last resort thing. But most of these situations that I be hearing and all that shit could have been resolved by simply either walking away or running the fade. But, you know, we live in a day and age where ain't nobody trying to hear all that. It's sad, you know. I mean, that's why they have gyms. That's why those that have siblings, older siblings, you know, you practice on them and all that. So that when you get into it with somebody that's not even related to you, you already have like hands-on experience. But, you know, it's like, and I just heard like the recent child that got, I don't know if this is the recent child, but it was during a carjacking, and it was a 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old got murdered.
Wow.
That's like, who the fuck raised y'all niggas, man? Where do they do that type of shit at? And for what? And for real though, a 3-year-old, what does a 3-year-old gotta do with anything? Like, shit like that, it just makes me look at the whole, you know what I'm saying, city and shit just goofy as hell. That's just me though. Cause like, where do you do that shit at? That's just me.
Yeah, man. Big Slim, you want to say any words on that?
Yeah, I just want to tell all the kids out there to, you know, give themselves a chance, you know, and don't just look at the circumstances as the ends. Because every day that you wake up, every day that you have air in your lungs, you can make a new decision. You can make a new choice. And at the end of the day, us being black people in America, we already have the history of fighting for our freedom. So if you know that, you making these decisions could end you up in chains and handcuffs, then, why would you, do these things when you know that your ancestors fought for you to be out of chains? So why would you give up on yourself and put yourself in a position that's not going to help us as a people that's already struggling, that's already behind, that's trying to come out of, the torment and the suffering that we've been through as a people in America? Why would you just keep letting the oppressor, have your soul? And I would tell them, I gave my life to Jesus Christ, when I was in prison. And, it wasn't because I was afraid or I was afraid of anybody or anybody did anything to me. It was because I seen that what I was living for wasn't going to help me be a better person. And it wasn't going to help my people as black people get to the next level that we need to get to. So I didn't want to be a problem, and I wanted to change. And it all starts with you. So, whatever you're going through, kids, it all starts with you. You got to educate yourself, and you got to build yourself up every day spiritually. You got to let, God, lead you. You might not have something that you read or something that you educate yourself with, but look for something that you can hold on to that'll make you a better person. And if it's not making you a better person, let it go and continue to seek God. I know it's a lot of choices out here, a lot of different gods, a lot of different spiritual systems, but Jesus is the way. So give him a chance, and that's the best thing I can tell you.
Over the years, we've lost a lot of rappers, even going back to Pac, Big, recent DMX, Nipsey, Dolph, PNB Rock.
PNB.
Yep.
Yeah.
Took it right out of my mouth. Which hip hop death hit you the hardest as a fan of this culture?
Nipsey hit me the hardest directly.
Talk to me.
So real quick history. I got to come to LA a while back, before this recent couple trips that I got to come to California. I was locked in with Paula J. Parker and Corrupt. They had a podcast where they would have people call in, and they call it Battle for the Beats, and you call in and rap. And if you was dope, you called in every week. So I called in so many weeks, they invited me out to LA. Like, you come out here, we're going to put you on the platform, we're going to let you rap in front of some people. So came out there, kicked it with Paula, made a lot of connections in LA. But prior to that, maybe like a year or two before that, I was throwing a major concert in Memphis. It was my own solo one-man concert. And I was in rehearsal the night before my concert, and the news hit the wire. Like, man, Nipsey, at the time, they hadn't even pronounced him dead yet. They just had pronounced that he had been gunned down. And, like, it shook the whole room. Like, because I'm a Nipsey fan. And I was rehearsing. I was getting ready to do this show. We stopped rehearsal. We stopped everything. And I just kind of sent everybody home. And we was rehearsing in the studio. And I was sitting there with the engineer and kind of just taking it all in. Because, like, he had did a lot of major stuff. And a lot of the new plans was starting to come to light, the stuff that he was finna do. And it's like, man, that man is gone. And there was a lot of people tied to and thriving through him and his legacy, and he just got taken away. Like, that one hit me hard, man. Way harder than most of the other ones. Like, not to downplay them. I love Pac, I love Big, but at the time of them, it didn't really hit me like it might have hit an older hip hop fan at that time. Nip hit me though. Yeah, because I had got a chance to watch him
transition from what he was to what he had become. And it hurt to see him gone so young, man.
Yeah, I did a whole show, man. As soon as I heard the news, I have my home studio, so I just press record whenever I want to. Something hits the news, and I sat down and I was like, all right, man, I'm good. I'm gonna make it through this. I'm not gonna cry. As soon as I fucking hit record, man, I started crying like a baby and just couldn't even really finish the whole show, man. That one hit really hard because it was so senseless and so dumb. And I'm out here in LA, so I know a lot of the stuff that Nipsey did for the community. I mean, I'm 12 miles or whatever away from where it unfortunately happened. You know, I'm not too far from it. And just to see that shit really hit me. Even as I'm talking about it now, man, it just, you know, because we just passed it's been 5 years, right? Damn, it's been 5 years? Was it 5 years, dog? 19?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
I think it's
it was 2019. It was right before the pandemic. Damn, that's crazy. As it's coming out of my mouth, it's trippy just saying that it's been 5 years. But yeah, that one hit me hard too, man. I'm just definitely agreeing with you on that, dog.
Oh no, I can definitely understand.
Yeah, man. Hey, for the last 10 minutes, I want to play one of your songs. This is something I like to do with great artists. Is I'll check out the catalog and I'll pick a song that sticks out to me. And I want to play it, but I want to stop it every once in a while and ask you what inspired that bar, or, you know, give me the story behind that bar. So I listened to about 7 or 8 of your songs, and one of them that really stood out to me was Tay's Dad. So, okay. So I want to play Tay's Dad for everybody. And everybody can check out Jay Discreet on YouTube. It's Jay, and Discreet is one word, Daskreet. Jay Discreet on YouTube. Check out his YouTube if you want some really good music. So I'm going to start this and stop it every once in a while when something hits my curiosity. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Tay's Dad.
Song for Tay. Daddy love you, baby. I promise I do. Yeah. Going hard for the fam. Before anything else, I'm a man. But I'm also a dad that would die for my daughter, even though her mom do me bad. Constantly lash out on me, and often we argue, so pieces uncommonly awkward and costly to have. But I pay that price for my baby to stay in my life when she.
Damn, off top. Those bars are just deep as hell, man. Talk to me about, you know, what prompted this song, especially those opening bars. Because usually when an MC writes, the opening bars is what they want most people to pay attention to the most. You know, so talk to me about that situation, man.
Okay, so Tay's Dad is from a small film, a short film movie soundtrack. So I was actually contracted to play the lead role in this film called Tay, and it's about a single dad and the issues he's dealing with his daughter Tay and the daughter's mom. So their opening is setting the stage not only for the song but for the whole movie. Like, this is the title track of the movie, and nice. And the bars were centered around, one, setting you in the mood of what the movie was, but also just pulled from previous experiences, because, you know, I am a dad. I do have 3 children, but my firstborn, me and his mom really didn't get along. We was both young, though. You know, granted, we was both young, so there were times we just didn't see eye to eye. And I was working a lot. Like, I was working a lot of part-time jobs. So that kind of was the inspiration, just tie a little bit of real life into the storyline of the movie, and it makes for a more impactful song, in my opinion.
Yeah, that sounded definitely like there was some personal behind it. Amazing writer, man. Let's keep it going. Let's listen to Tay's song. So it's safe to say that this is more along the lines of a not 100% story about yourself, but it's more based on the movie.
Oh yeah, it's definitely more based on the movie. But, you know, I took bits and pieces. I took liberties.
I like that.
You know?
Shit, let's keep it going. Let's keep playing it.
ought to be edged. Yeah, now my time cut short in the portions. The court turned support to extortion. Yeah, I buy the Nikes and the Jordans, but the guidance and the love was important. And it still ain't enough, cause according to the statement, baby mama reported to the state, I can't even see my shorty till I find a way to generate even more than what I make. Can't afford to call in for a day. Daycare ain't an option though. Warehouse got me on a 7-day shift, like off days is optional. When I'm off, I'm exhausted and slow. I should sleep now, but I gotta help feed my child. Still wanna see my child. Damn.
Ooh, all right. So you talk to me in general, man, because a lot of men with children go through what you just talked about in those last few bars, man. So break that down.
Yeah, I said the court turned child support into extortion. So like there are countless stories that people put out there in the media of the deadbeats, right? You hear that all the time. Guys ain't shit. You know, you never hear the story of the guys that's like, look, I'm trying to do what I can do for my child. At the same time, I do want to see my child, but I gotta come up with a certain amount to pay this child support. But that doesn't change when that child needs things, because in reality, child support is just kind of tying into the system. It doesn't cover everything. So you can be one of those dads that's like, well, you got child support, don't call me for nothing. Or you can be one of those dads that's like, all right, I'm exhausted. I just worked overtime, but I'm gonna go get my baby for a while. We're gonna go to the park. We're gonna go do something. And this song is just highlighting one particular dad who's not receiving any credit for any of that. It's like everything he's doing is just, it feels like it's just getting heaped on him more and more. And I feel like a lot of dudes do feel that and can relate to that. Like, you never hear the good stories. Nobody publicizes the good stories. All you hear is, oh, he don't come around, or he didn't help me, or, and I'm not taking away from them people struggling and stuff that they dealing with, because there are those out there. But it's easier to sell it. It's easier to package the he's horrible than it is nobody cares about the good stuff. It's not sensational enough. It ain't no drama in it.
Now, shortly after, obviously after the success of House Party 1, execs are like, hey, let's try to do this again. And then we got introduced to House Party 2, which I also enjoyed very much as well. House Party 2, my favorite character was that white kid. That white dude was actually a pretty popular rapper back then from a group called, ironically, Young Black Teenagers. YBT. And they had a hit song called Tap the Bottle In, Twist the Cap, Tap the Bottle In, Twist the Cap, Tap the Bottle In, Twist the Cap, and pass it around the crew because the crew be all that. It was an homage to the 40 ounce that you pass around the homies. But they were all white kids, and they were called Young Black Teenagers, and they were pretty dope. And this white kid was in the movie opposite side of Kid. He played Kid's roommate at, ironically, an all-black college. And then the movie ends with the Pajama Jam. Oh, and this we have Queen Latifah, right? Queen Latifah was part of this. She was, she had started to just pick up her acting steam right around this time. And Hollywood started to notice, say, you know what? She's not too bad. So we get the recasting characters. We get Play, of course. We get Gina. She's in this movie as well. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed House Party 2. Not as much as Part 1, but very close second. No, not a close second. I'll tell you right now why. But I did enjoy House Party 2. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the scenes. I enjoyed the Pajama Jammy Jam. I enjoyed seeing all those fine girls in the little pajama jams as a kid. That was pretty awesome to me. And I enjoyed it personally. I don't know. Comment down below. What do you think about House Party 2? Was it as good as House Party 1? Was it better than House Party 1? In your opinion? Talk to me. Let me know. But, you know, hey, just like House Party 1 made money, House Party 2 seemed to do okay in the box office. And what does Hollywood say? Let's milk this cow. These two guys are still popular, right? They may not be as popular as they were a couple years ago, but they're still popular. So they introduced us to House Party 3, which is my second favorite house party. In order, they're going House Party 1, my favorite, House Party 3, my second favorite, and House Party 2, my third favorite. And then 4 and 5, they don't even make the list whatsoever. I don't even consider those house party movies. Yeah, let's not even go there with those, because those are really bad, bro. Really bad. The House Party 3, I really enjoyed it. Now, Kid is going to get married, right? And Play is like, man, you can't be getting married. What are you doing? Nah, man. Now, in House Party 3, Martin had already been part of a successful TV show named after himself, Martin. So Martin was not in House Party 3. But that didn't stop it from being a great movie. In my opinion, I know I said great, right? That's crazy. It didn't stop it from being a great movie, because we got introduced to a lot of other comedians who filled in the gap where Martin left off. AJ Johnson was in this movie again. He played one of the convicts when Kid and his little cousin went to go, I guess pick up the birthday cake or catering. It was catering. They were looking for catering. And they had the big bald dude and they had AJ Johnson. And that was a classic scene right there of them just going back and forth, bagging on each other. Chris Tucker was in this movie. Yes, dog. This is right before the time Chris Tucker started getting them $10 million checks. This was maybe right before or right after Friday. Someone help me out. May have been right before, right? Right around the same time, definitely within a year or two of Friday. So we're getting introduced to Chris Tucker. He plays a great role, and my the favorite scene is when he meets up with Immature, the group, right? Omarion. They had the Asian kid. And then they had the other dude. I can't even name the names. I think they have flip-flopped members since then. But Omarion was the one that kind of ended up being somebody. Went on to being B2K and all of that, right? But Immature and Chris Tucker's confrontation at the door was a classic scene in this movie. Michael Collier. I don't know. I can never say his name. Michael Collier. There we go. Michael Collier. Very funny stand-up comedian. Legend in the stand-up world. Bro used to be homeless. And from what I understand, he used to make ends meet by doing comedy on the Venice Boardwalk. See, back in the day, the Venice Boardwalk wasn't filled with tents and homeless people shooting up dope like it is now. There was pockets of that. Of course there was. It's Venice. But different time back then. They actually had entertainers. A lot of entertainers, man. And Michael Collier was one of those guys who started in the streets and ended up on the big screen. Definitely a legend. And probably the biggest of them all, and no disrespect to Chris Tucker, no disrespect to AJ Johnson, no disrespect to Michael Collier, but probably the biggest one in House Party 3 was Bernie Mac. R.I.P. One of my favorites, man. One of my favorites. He is very Robin Harris-esque. Going back to part 1, Pops. He played a really good role as his brother, as Pops' brother. And Bernie Mac had some of the most memorable scenes. Namely, the scene at the dinner table.
I knew you. Damn it to hell, I knew your face was familiar to me. Man, back in the day, your wife just sucked the meanest. Well, I know you're a lucky man.
You scum-sucking son of a... That's my hoe my wife you talking about.
Now I remember. I even remember your name. They should call you Jawbone.
Yeah, I really enjoyed 3. And even to this day, I'll watch it, and it's great. And Immature did a great job as well. They did a really good job. I can't go on. We can't wrap up House Party 3 without talking about my girls, TLC, man. R.I.P. Left Eye. They looked so sexy in this movie. I remember wanting Chili so bad in this movie because she was kind of the freak in the movie, right? Left Eye was always my favorite. Like, I just love Left Eye to this day. Like, I think she is one of the most beautifulest female entertainers in the history of music. But in this particular movie, for whatever reason, I was digging Chili. Chili was a little freak and just a beautiful little, oh man. I was never really into T-Boz. Beautiful, don't get me wrong, T-Boz beautiful as well, but that was never really into T-Boz. I was more into Chili during this time. But they did a great job as well. And I'm shocked that they didn't do more acting gigs, man. They were awesome in this movie. So all in all, I really enjoyed House Party 3 almost as much as I enjoyed Part 1. What do you think? Comment down below. House Party 3. How do you rank them? Once again, going back, I'm going to rank them in the top 3. Mine is House Party 1 is first. House Party 3 is second. House Party 2 is third. Those are my favorites in that order. 4 and 5, we ain't even going to give them any time because that's almost an embarrassment. And what we're also not going to do is give that horrible 2023 remake that they did of House Party. Like, that was bad. That was almost as bad as the remake of Coming to America. Can we just leave the classics alone, Hollywood? Hollywood, listen to me right now. Can we just leave the classics alone? There was no reason to mess with House Party and do a remake in 2023 and ruin that, almost ruin that legacy. Right? There was no reason to do a Coming to America 2. No reason whatsoever when we had that beautiful classic Coming to America. Hollywood, can you knock it off a bit? But yeah, 4 and 5, nah, I don't even think Kid and Play wanted anything to do with that. Do with those films. I know they popped up in 5 for a quick second, and I only know that because I've seen the movie once. I've literally saw 4 and 5 once. I don't even think I've watched them all the way through. It was just really bad. And I tried to watch it again, and I was just like, I can't do it. Because when the main players aren't in it, or when they don't have as good of comedians in it as the Bernie Macs and the Michael Colliers and the Chris Tuckers and the AJ Johnsons, like, it just doesn't have the same feel. It doesn't even seem like the same movie. So 4 and 5, sorry, getting no love. No love today on Dusty Vision Radio.